Hey everyone, really excited for our next episode. It's another sparkling wine episode, or as Colin would call it, a champagne episode. But you know what?
No.
It's sparkling wine, which can only mean one thing. There's another mini wine podcaster in our midst. Congratulations. Count of three, guys. 1, 2, 3.
Get it.
You hear how quiet that was?
I can't get it.
Oh, God.
He's weak from all the time holding the baby.
Wow, he's still working on it. Hey! Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a sparkling wine from Spain.
Lovely. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us again. I'm Joel. I'm joined by two of the most well-rested adults in the nation, Colin and Aaron. Hello, guys. How are you?
Oh, awesome. I wish that was true, and I know Colin also wishes that was true.
Yeah, that was a pretty good joke, but I'm probably one of the least well-rested people in the nation.
Now, why would that be the case, Colin?
We just welcomed white baby number 2 into the world.
Remembering that Colin's last name is White, of course.
Yes. Welcome. Welcome. Oh, my God.
Brand new baby boy. He's healthy. He's happy. Mom's doing good. So we're doing well over here. We're just really tired. I don't know. I'm sure. Joel, you're fresh off the newborn phase, so I'm sure you remember how brutally exhausting it was.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I do, but like I kind of don't. And, you know, my daughter now is 4 months old, and we were talking a little bit before this. Like, I feel like that whole time was like a year ago, but it was 3 months ago where it was just up at all ungodly hours of the night and just craziness. But it's like your brain just blocks it out.
Kids have, like, it is ingrained in them to find ways to keep you awake throughout their entire lives until they, like, go to college. I am now at a point where, like, both my kids can walk, and they do this thing where they wake up in the middle of the night and they walk to the side of the bed and they put their face right next to you and they're like, Dad. And you go, what?
That is terrifying.
And they're just like,
terrifying.
I can't find my blanket. And then you go to their room and the blanket's on their bed and they were just laying on top of it and they panicked and came and woke you. So yep. I will still take that over kids. The hours and hours of just waking up and soothing a small thing that doesn't know it's a human yet. But like,
that's all right.
Yeah.
No, it's good. It's been good. I'm just glad he's healthy and we're doing well. So
absolutely. Well, so excited for you and the whole family, and so excited to have a little bit of a celebratory episode today.
I would say it's tradition now, right? This is like the tradition of the pod, right?
100%.
And having babies also seems tradition. So, Aaron, it seems like you would be up next.
Well, it's either that or we never get to, review a sparkling wine again based on the established parameters of this show. So I will let my wife know and we'll get back to you never, because she's going to unplug my computer and not let me talk to you anymore.
Perfect. Well, let's make this one count then.
Absolutely.
So we'll make this one really, really count. All right. So we mentioned that today in celebration, we are having a sparkling wine from Spain. So Aaron, tell us a little bit more about this wine.
Oh, I would love to. And when I was typing up this information earlier, I had it in my head that someone else was going to have to read these words. And I'm just, going through the fear and panic of it being me right now. So let's just go for it. So this is from the producer, Monistrol, who in my research found out it was the Marques of Monistrol, which is Spanish for, I don't know.
It's probably Monistrol. But
Thank you.
Monistrol.
Monistrol. You're right. I absolutely flipped my eye and my Monistrol. And thank you for saying probably in a polite way of correcting me in that moment. And while you absolutely knew it wasn't probable, it was in fact absolutely wrong.
Yeah, I didn't need to totally blow up your spot.
Okay, since when? And we are. It is the Selección Especial Cava from, oh my God, Colin, can you please read
Zarello.
what grape they make this with?
Yes, yeah, Zarello or Zarello.
There's like 3 X words in my entire vocabulary, and that wasn't one of them. So Zarello.
Well, you just learned something new.
Thank God. Okay, so outside of that nightmare of Spanish, some words that I do know, like 11.5% alcohol. So this is on the lighter side.
Yep.
And super exciting. This really schmancy, fancy, cool looking bottle that we got with this like lovely floral wrap, and it's very classy.
It does look cool.
It was
very nice
$12.99. So it's like this very, very low, almost scary price point. So we'll see what's coming our way. But if this is a good one, a $12.99 fancy looking sparkling wine, this just might be something I'm bringing around to every special occasion, because it's just going to look real fancy. Yeah. And the last thing, when I was looking for the year for like hours and hours and hours, I finally asked Colin, and he was like, nah, this is a non-vintage. And I don't know what that means. Colin, what is a non-vintage wine?
Yeah, so you'll mostly find it in sparkling wine, but you also sometimes see it in like super low quality garbage wine. But yeah,
that's not a good sign, is it?
No,
it does not bode well for this experience. Go on.
$12.99 non-vintage. Oh God.
But a lot of the times they'll blend wines from different vintages for sparkling wine, especially in Champagne, because it's really hard to get grapes ripe in the cooler region of Champagne. So a lot of times you'll get vintage variation from year to year, and to make a totally complete wine, they'll have to blend the different vintages. And super special sparkling wine, especially if the standard is non-vintage, will be your vintage sparkling wine. So if the wine region has a fantastic year growing grapes and they're ripe and everything's exactly the way they want it, they will add a vintage to the bottle. But that's only in really special years.
Is that when you start to pay those real special prices?
Oh yeah, real special prices. Absolutely. Non-vintage, especially Champagne, is outrageous, or vintage Champagne is outrageously expensive.
So basically when we're talking non-vintage, we're saying, they produce something, maybe it's a little too acidic or whatever, and then the next year it's a little too sweet, something like that, and then over time they start playing around with it, blending it, and they say, oh, if we mix these, it's actually something kind of nice, and that's what we're drinking.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Great breakdown. And just on the low end scale non-vintage wine, it's just because they just don't care, and they just use whatever they have in the storage closet to make the garbage wine that they're making. So
I'm so excited to review this wine.
Yeah, I'm so jazzed.
This is sparkling wine non-vintage, not garbage wine non-vintage. So, I think we're going to be okay.
I'm making a note that to go with our stamps like dry AF and pizza wine, we now need a garbage wine stamp, because it seems to follow very specific criteria.
I'm going to tell you this though: presentation alone worth at least $13.99 in my opinion. It's wrapped so nice.
It is. It's a beautiful bottle. Absolutely, no doubt about that.
Well, that's what we're drinking. Before we get into this mysterious, maybe great, maybe not so great bottle of sparkling wine, let's take a minute to learn something.
Shit.
This is the only thing you will learn.
We'll fix it in post.
That's great.
Absolutely leave it.
It's okay. Yeah. So, because I'm as tired as I said I was, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but still try to make it as informative as possible. And since we're drinking Cava, I thought this would be a good time to learn a little bit more about Cava. So we're going to... Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fitting.
Absolutely. Yeah. So do you guys remember how these are usually made, or Cava in general is made, back from our sparkling wine episode that we did? Aaron, no cheating. You looked at the bottle.
No. I was just making sure, because what I remember, I'm not Googling anything this week. I remember you said there was the traditional method, right? And that was the most common method. And looking at the bottle,
that's right.
It says, Spanish version of traditional method. And I'm done butchering words today. It's right at the top on the neck. So it's there.
So Okay, you're right. Method traditional. It's on the bottle. Do you guys remember what that means? Follow-up question?
Yes.
Traditional method.
Okay.
Like what the traditional method actually is.
Yeah,
Can
what
I
the
take a stab
traditional
at
method
this?
is.
It's on the tip of my brain.
Joel.
It's in there. It's in there.
I got this.
Something about shoving bubbles.
Well, okay. So it's when they when they leave it to when they leave it to actually not ferment, but
No, that's right.
Yeah, ferment so that the carbonation is coming from the actual yeast eating sugars and stuff like that.
Yeah, the traditional method means bubbles happen because of a secondary fermentation in the wine. So
that's exactly what I was trying to say.
Right, versus the alternative method, which is putting bubbles in from another source, correct?
Yeah, that's right. The tank method, which is adding bubbles.
It had something to do with bubbles being, shoved in versus bubbles not being shoved in.
That's right. Shoving bubbles.
Shoved in bubbles.
So yes.
Like Michael Bublé's next album.
What?
I don't know. All right, so I'm going to go back to Cava, which we just learned is a traditional method. It's the sparkling wine of Spain, so kind of like champagne is the sparkling wine of France. There are other sparkling wines in Spain that aren't Cava, but usually when you think sparkling wine in Spain, you're thinking about Cava. Cava, interestingly enough, translates directly into cave or cellar because of how the wines are aged, either in a cave or a cellar. And there are 3 traditional grapes in Cava that you don't usually find outside of Spain, which are Macabeo, Parellada, and we already mentioned that this wine is made out of Xarello. They do also allow some other grapes in the blend, so sometimes you'll see some Chardonnay, some Pinot Noir, which are more of your traditional sparkling wine grapes. And then they also allow some Grenache in there as well. Cava can be produced anywhere in Spain. So there's no one particular region. It's more of the rules that go into what make Cava a Cava. But most of the Cava is produced in the Penedès region, which is right next to Catalonia. So you're looking northeast Spain, where it's nice and cool. And that's kind of the primer on Cava, just to give you a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight.
Is there anything about the region? I know we talked about like just different sparkling wines from different areas have different names just because of where they are. Is there like an aspect of Cava that like traditionally Cava is more X in the flavor profile, or can a Cava literally be almost identical to a champagne or anything else?
Yeah, no, it all varies depending upon producer and what the producer wants out of their wine. But you should expect with your traditional method some breadiness because of that secondary fermentation and the yeast happening. So it'll be interesting if we see that in there. But other than that, you tend to see a little bit of floral notes from these Spanish grapes that you might not see in a champagne or something like that. But other than that, it really all depends upon producer and what they're going for.
Well, excellent stuff. I feel a little bit smarter and a little bit more prepared. Give this Cava a go. So at this point, y'all, let's get into it.
Tastes like wine.
I think we're going to have to make, even though we're not going to use it until Aaron has a kid, we need to make a pop sound version of that.
Well, considering the twist off was me making it with my voice, I feel like you should have to make a really realistic and believable pop noise with your voice. That's not it.
A boop. What?
It doesn't sound like a pop. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't a pop.
You sound like a Pokemon.
I got nothing.
No, I would say I'm proud of Joel and I. Joel, can you please raise your glass? I believe I saw that you had.
Always, I'll raise my glass.
He's using a thingy. He's using a different thingy. What kind of glass is that?
This is probably just like a wine glass, but it is fancy looking.
It is.
I don't know what you would call this. I don't think it's meant to be for champagne.
I just remember from the great.
I was going to say we're not drinking champagne.
Yeah. Oh, Joel messed up today.
Or Cava. I'm just saying.
I don't know.
No, you're right.
No, I just remember from our last conversation, Joel and I were so proud because I had a flute and Joel had a coupe and we thought we were great. And then Colin was like, haha, you guys are jackasses. You're not supposed to analyze champagne in those types of glasses. So I came today prepared with a basic ass glass so that I could do this correctly.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The
There you go.
flute.
I
But,
just look pretty cool with this glass, though.
Really hard to swirl with that glass, Joel. God, that swirl is going to be real messy.
in fact, I want to see it. Hold it right up to the camera and show us a good swirl on
Just
that.
got to be really delicate. Just really delicate. Here we go. Hold on. Anyway,
Can I go first on the smelling notes? Because before you guys use all the good words.
this is our first. Hold on. Our first volunteer
Yeah.
to go first on the history of the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast. And yes, absolutely, Aaron. Please, by all means.
It's solely from a place of just trying to say words before you guys do, so that I have words left.
Sure.
Because I
Words are hard.
definitely
Go on.
And it's not because the bottle is covered in flowers. There's definitely like a floral aspect of this sparkling wine. And I don't know, it's not, help me out. Is it it's not like as citrusy as maybe some others. Like it's what is it?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm getting at. This might be what you're thinking. I wonder if we're mind melding here, but green apple.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah, more appley than like citrusy. And Colin's gonna come in and be like, it's citrus.
Yeah, actually, that was actually my first.
Colin's level 2 nose is at it again.
Just a lot of lemon, but you're right. There's a lot of green apple. You're absolutely right. But I'm also getting. Joel, you want to go first, or you want me to just?
No, I mean you go, because I'm not gonna lie to you. Green apple, since you said a little bit of lemon, like a little bit, maybe like a little lemon kicker, but boy, I'm just getting green apple.
And pear is another one that I'm getting quite a bit of. I also get a little bit of that bready, yeasty note. Not a ton, but it's just in there. This is not like overly bready, but
yeah,
it's definitely got a little bit of.
All right, Aaron, since you volunteered, you want to volunteer again?
For the smell. I volunteer for the smell. No, no, I definitely, no, now that you've said green apple, like that's really stuck in. Like, I feel like some like sparkling wines, especially like cheaper sparkling wines, like really kind of hit you with like the apple cider taste. And this is just has kind of like a nice, like kind of have that like appley flavor to it. It's not like overbearing. I'm sure, Colin's going to name some fruit I've never heard of that balances it out. It has like a nice, like crispy apple kind of flavor to it.
Okay. I don't disagree, but no, I don't disagree, but I gotta say, it's almost like a green apple candy, like a lifesaver is what I'm getting though. It's not just green apple. There's something else to it that almost makes it like candy-like as I'm drinking it. Upon the beginning of the sip, I think the little bit of, like you said, Colin, when we were smelling it, you said that it smelled a little toasty. I think it is a little bit enough to where it's like the candiness of the green apple doesn't run away from it, but I'm getting that a lot.
Are you suggesting like a sweetness or like another aspect of candy?
Not even a sweetness, but like a tart and almost like I don't really, maybe Colin, there's a word for this or something, but not necessarily a sweetness, but a candiness, as weird as that might sound.
No, I don't disagree. And I think what you're feeling, and this is what I'm feeling, does kind of bring in the word candy, is you get like that intense acidity with also that like almost, I don't want to call it fake, but that candy green apple taste. So I think it's the combination of those two that does kind of make it feel like you're sucking on a
lifesaver. Yeah.
No, that's Jolly Rancher is what really hits me.
Jolly Rancher. That's what I was looking for. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, it's not like totally tart or sour, but it does have that pucker kind of like aspect of your mouth to where it starts to dry it out a little bit. And
it's high acid for sure. There's no doubt about that. Not dried out. Make it watery. It's very high acid. But yeah, I get that green apple, candy green apple, I think is a great call. Also, you're right, a little bit toasty, but it's very, very lightly toasted. And then I get a little bit of that citrus and a little bit of that pear, but it's like definitely, it's like green apple, little other things in the background.
I want more bready. I want more toast.
Agree, especially at a traditional method. I was really hoping that you'd get that toasty breadiness. That's one of the things I really love about traditional method sparklers, and it's definitely not as prevalent in this one.
But it's not bad.
I would agree.
Like there's a balance to it that I'm okay with. It's not But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Aaron's gonna go ahead and move us into the review portion now.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
But we gotta hit the drop.
No, we're on your time, brother.
I'm sorry, hit the drop. I was excited.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Aaron, you were leading us in there. Go ahead, kick us off with what you think.
Yeah, because we kind of joked around at the beginning of this episode. It's a $12.99 bottle. I would say, especially like when I'm going to a store and grabbing a bottle of sparkling wine for a party or to make mimosas, something like that, the $12.99 is like a very cheap bottle. It's like the Corbel, the sparkling wine. So it's a concerning price point. That being said, I know it's not as toasty as we would like, and maybe not as complex. It's pretty tasty. Like there's some taste in here that I don't hate. I'm not sure if I'd like super show it off, but it's a nice looking bottle, and it's something that might be fun to talk about. And I don't know. I don't dislike it. I'm not super excited about it, but there's some tasty aspects of it that I don't mind.
Okay, so where are you putting it? Is this going in on the kitchen table or closet or down the drain?
Oh man, I don't know. It's like weird because the reasons I'd put it on the listen.
I also love how you're thinking about this as though this is an unexpected question.
I know.
We knew we were going to get to this point.
No, I know. I'm.
But it's hard. I know.
I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted because I feel like I'm getting swayed by like the bottle itself, and good on them for their marketing. They knew maybe they didn't have the best Cava in the world, and they're winning me over with flower pictures.
I agree. And when we start our spin-off podcast, Stop Wasting Your Marketing, we can really dive into that.
Totally. So I would say this. I would say from a taste standpoint, this is probably closet wine for me. From a price point and like bottle, and it's from Spain, it's a little bit different than someone who brings over just a bottle of Brut that they, found at the random store. Like, I might put this on my table as, like, just an interesting difference of like, look, like, there's sparkling wines from other places besides France and here. So it's getting snuck onto my kitchen table and then probably tossed back in the closet at some point. Figure out how to put that on the website called...
Yeah, that's. I have no idea. I'm not even sure what you just said.
But do you see what I'm getting at? Someone pick up what I'm putting down here.
No, I think, and I'm going to do. Joel usually takes us down a rabbit hole of he likes to pick up on different nuances of the rating system.
I do.
So I'm channeling my inner Joel right now, and I think this, if you were at a baby shower or some sort of
adorable bottle to bring into a baby shower.
That's what I'm saying. Some kind of like bridal shower. I think this is going straight on the table. If the bottle looks great, it would be great for mimosas. This is like a prime at $12.99.
This is what I'm saying. It looks like a mimosa bottle.
It does. You line a couple of these up. You lay them out nicely. So I think for an occasion like that, you would definitely want to put it on the table. But you're right. If we're just talking about just the wine quality and like pure enjoyment, I'd probably put it in my closet because
you're also complicating the website.
I am. It's a. I'm gonna have to come up with a new graphic. I don't know, but
it's a table shoved into a closet.
Because the wine's fine. I mean, it's tasty enough. It's not bland. It's not bad, but it won't blow your socks off either. But I think the whole package is worth the table, but the wine itself is on the closet.
I think if this was a green Corbel bottle, we would not hesitate to put this in the closet.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I think that's 100% correct because I'm going to agree with you guys. It really is a lovely presentation and agreed. I mean, like for I don't know how much more we can talk about like baby showers and stuff like that because yes, 100%. It looks very lovely, but this is straight up a closet wine in my opinion. And you both have mentioned mimosas. And to me, it's like anytime that we're talking about pouring another liquid into the wine that we're drinking, that's a closet wine. We're admitting that's a closet wine. So squarely in the closet, maybe toward the front.
I hide all my other closet wines behind this bottle to be like, look, I have nice wines in my closet.
Yes. I'm in. Okay, so listen, guys, this, the name of the podcast is Stop Wasting Your Wine. Sometimes we're all on the same page, and it's pretty clear if this is a waste or not a waste. This time, I think we should talk about it because there's some feelings here. So just real quick, give me your read. Is this a waste of your wine? This is the Monistrol Selección Especial Cava Zorello, 11.5%, and we paid $13 for this Cava. So, Aaron, waste of your wine?
If your intention was to show up with a really great bottle of sparkling wine and you wanted to find something that's really going to knock people's socks off, this would be a waste of your wine. If your intention is just to get a passable bottle for a really good price point, that's a little bit different. It's absolutely not a waste. So I would say, based on what we've described it as, this is not a waste of your wine. This is just a really solid, fun, sparkling wine at the price point for $13.
Yeah, I'm right there with Aaron. I don't need to repeat everything he just said, but I totally agree. I don't think it's a waste for what you want to do with it.
I am going to agree, even though I was pretty staunchly, this is a closet wine. It's not a waste. Great price point, and like you guys said, there's a reason for this wine to exist. So not a waste of your wine.
Yeah, they jacked this thing up to $19.99 though, and it's a waste.
Absolutely.
It is the price point and the
100%.
the lovely floral arrangement of a bottle is making this thing, it's giving it a purpose. It has its own purpose that's different from other sparkling wines.
I love it. Okay. Well, there you go. That's the review on a wonderful celebratory evening here on the Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast. Colin, again, congratulations,
Thank
buddy.
you.
We're all very excited for you.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Monistrol.
Hey, Monistrol.
Selección
Aaron.
Especial.
Yeah, wow.
Beautiful.
I'll just cut that into the front.
Thank you.
I like the dichotomy.
It's showing my
nice.
growth over the course of the
we grew
episode.
into
I'm a new man.
it's really lovely.
But Joe, you were going to ask me. Go for it.
Here's something where you always shine.
Thank you.
Can you do me a favor? And I cannot do this for the life of me. Aaron, can you tell the folks that are listening how they can interact with Stop Wasting Your Wine podcast?
Absolutely. And super exciting because over the past couple weeks, we've just seen a ton of growth, a lot of new followers on Instagram, a lot of new listeners. It's really exciting. And a lot of it has to do with, quite honestly, the people who have been listening from early on, starting to share it with their friends. We really appreciate it. We have some really great listeners who have started to hype it up to other folks. And we can't thank you enough for that. You can find us on Instagram at Stop Wasting Your Wine. You can go to our website, stopwastingyourwine.com. You can find us on any of the platforms that you use to listen to your favorite podcasts. And once you find us, please follow, leave nice reviews, leave a rating, and engage, interact with us. We're often asking questions on our podcasts, and we would just love to hear from you. And we'd also love your feedback and love to know how we can get better. So again, follow us on social media, check out our website, reach out, and we look forward to continuing to engage with everyone.
Beautiful. Thank you. Could not have said it better myself. Literally.
Nicely
thank you,
done.
Aaron. And thank you, listener, for hanging out and for listening along with us. And for doing well out there. Have a good one. Stop wasting your wine, everybody.
Bye, all.
We'll see you next time.
I'm going to bed.
Colin, I have questions for you.
No, you don't.
I do.
I don't believe it. Bye.